morning. Good morning, all. I know nobody really knows me. I don't know if anybody pays attention to anything I post. Um, Maybe it'll change in the future. I mean, I'm changing my name. I've had a story. I've had testimony. Um, I've been, I think, it's according to what my neurologist says, there's a possibility I've been misdiagnosed. A mental illness, and I've had these seizures all along. They've gotten worse over the years. I've had several head injuries. I've had psychiatrists saying that it's ridiculous. Even my aunt, who is a psychiatrist, told me that I just didn't go to the hospital and because I'm sounding suicidal. I didn't say I was wanting to die. I was saying that I've had these seizures and it makes me want to die when I hear things like, um, look at me, they're not real seizures, and they're real seizures. I mean, I don't know what I look like when I have them. I don't know how I act. I know how I act may be different than anybody else that might have seizures, but it's who I am. Everybody has their own personality. Everybody has their own issues. I'm angry because of years of abuse and accusations of that I'm faking my illnesses to get attention of some sort or some reason, right? I'm out up late because I can't sleep because of all this heartless medical treatment centers that are they're treating me badly in hospitals, in mental hospitals especially. I've never seen this before in my life until after I got sick with COVID. And it disgusts me how they spend so many years for something like that. And I would think they'd be passionate about doing to help people with health issues and to become so cold and careless of what they say to somebody who's going through an epileptic seizure or epileptic like seizure as such as mine. Perhaps they're pseudo seizures. My neurologist is still working on finding out what it is that's causing my seizures. He still believes that they're caused by the head injuries I've had in the past, and sometimes they do come in late, and they do come in severe. I could give you all the documents and all the resources from everything I've read from medical doctors and from medical magazines and articles and stuff. I could give you those sources, but I mean, I moved things around to try to get things ready for my business, and so things got a little bit misplaced in this, misfiled. Okay, I mean, you could do your research, you can find out yourself. I'm thinking that my aunt Cindy, who is, she says she's a psychiatrist and been doing it for many years. She obviously seems very educated. I look up to her. I've also studied psychiatry. I could possibly become a psychiatrist. I've recently went to a local college here in Dallas to become a psychiatrist. I wanted to help people. I thought I had something that people could, would appreciate. I appreciated people that were mentally ill like myself who were also a patient and became psychiatrists. They become the most psychiatrists ever. They me more than ones that didn't have a diagnosis of mental illness. So, but I know this. I know about myself, and that you sue me if I'm wrong. After 25, 27 years of taking psych meds, and you take antidepressants, and they don't work, they just make you more depressed. And if you don't take them, then you just are depressed. I mean, because I get depressed when I needed to be depressed. I've lost 10 people who passed away recently. One was my mom, my aunt. One was my favorite aunt. And we were kind of, not in good ways before she passed, and it was not the best conversation I would want to have with her, knowing that's going to be our last conversation. And I was fighting with my boyfriend. Now we're married. We're probably getting divorced again. We're going to be divorced, and I lost my job recently because of my health, and people left and right are telling me they're not real, and I need to stop acting like that. And I'm not doing that to myself. That stuff hurts. I mean, why would I do that? I mean, I don't know if anybody else knows what it's like to have a seizure, especially as bad as mine's been getting lately. And they give me drug tests and I'll come clean, so there's not possible reason because I'm coming down or it's a side effect of some sort of that because it's been a while, so it couldn't possibly be that. It's been at least a year or so. And so it should have been obviously the side effects should be obviously gone by now, right? It's not like a lasting event because I've had seizures for years. They just never been this severe. And when my dad passed away, I've had a seizure. I had friends that were there when they seen a seizure. I had friends that were here in this apartment building that see me have seizures. It makes me feel like that because I was diagnosed for so long with a mental illness, bipolar disease, and that because of that, and just because that the doctor was a doctor who diagnosed me, they didn't know that doctor personally. They measure, they study behaviors, they study lifestyles. That's what they study. They don't study brain waves like a neurologist. I may have to get another neurologist because we're still trying to figure it out. And I kind of want to know why it is. The medicine seems to work now, and if I remember to take them. I'll probably put my hand in front of the computer desk, so since I'm gonna be here a lot more often, since I'm gonna be working on my business, so I won't forget. I forget a lot. When I do have a seizure, I wake up confused and disoriented, and it's not because of my meds. Some of these meds I've taken for years. It's not that. I've had the same. It's the same feeling I did when I first had that bike accident. I think it was a possible hit and run. My sister don't remember. She was very young. It was, it was obviously a child traumatic experience. It was very stressful for a child her age, especially me. I was going through it. I don't remember what happened because I look back when she yelled before I knew, bam. Look back, I woke up and she was gone, I think. And it was about dusk. It seemed like there was a little more sunlight when it happened. I to, I wanted her to stop picking on my sister. So I went to go find the bully and I was on like BMX and she screamed and I looked back and I came to. I don't know how I got back home. It was a bad accident. My head was not really scraped up really bad, and I think we went to the doctor next day. I don't remember. I really don't remember. There's a few days of that event. I don't remember. And if that was not a head injury, then what the hell was that then? I mean, because it hurt really bad for a really long time. I have a goose egg right here, still from a head injury, from a head somebody headbanging me when I was in a bad relationship. I've got an indentation back of my head for my sister's head, and who knows how many times that happened. I fell on my head when I was a baby, when I crawled out of my crib. Mom probably dropped me on my head when she was drunk when I was a baby. I don't know. I was too young. I know I've hit my head more times. I hit my head so hard when I dived in the pool. Shot me in the pool. Knocked myself out for a second. And to hear my aunt, I'm starting to really respect and appreciate telling me that these are just hallucinations and then I need to go to a psychiatrist, and which I was going to until she they were just aggravating me so much that I couldn't listen to them anymore. Because for a while I needed someone to talk to, like a therapist, to process what I was going through. That's another reason why I'm doing this video now, because processing the same conversation by myself, to myself, in the mirror, and it gets where after living alone for a while, I start beginning to think I'm a little bit delusional. And it gets to be really lonely. And I start getting really needy when I do go out in the world, especially after I got sick with COVID. I was sick for 4 months. Imagine living alone, not knowing anybody in the city. And at the time, I only knew a few people. Boyfriend was about the one of them. And your family that lives here don't talk to you because of hearsay from your back past, and they can't forgive you for that, and they don't know the whole truth, and they won't listen to you because you're the one that caused the problems in the family, which wasn't as bad as they that I hear them telling me it was. It really wasn't, and I could understand my view though because I'm not. I can be biased, and I can stand out of myself and hear somebody else. So, well, I can understand your point. I can tell. Can I tell you my side of the story? Maybe you could be more. Maybe you can understand what the whole situation was. There wasn't willing to hear it. I mean, why would they want to listen to somebody who's obviously delusional and crazy? Like they would always throw that word around all the time. That word gets thrown away all the time, even in joking manners. Even when my therapist told me not to call myself crazy, tried to tried to call it something else. Try not to put myself down. A lot of people try to say that. Don't be so hard on myself. It's really hard not to do that when you're thinking you're doing great and you're doing better, and you get little bumps in the road because you lose your job for some reason because things happen. You get injured on the way to work, you break your foot. So you're working slower than you were before you broke your foot. So people working circles around you, so you're trying to be careful so you don't hurt more. And at the time, I didn't even know it was broken because when I went to the hospital, they didn't even bother even x-raying the foot that I told them that I needed x-ray on. They x-rayed my knee, which was also hurting, but that was not the one I was concerned about as much as that foot, because every time I try to walk on it, I'd want to fall because it was more than just a twist ankle. It felt broken. I broke a rib, so I know what a broken foot feels like. I know what a broken bone feels like, and it felt broken to me. Took me a year to finally get a foot doctor, a podiatrist. They did X-rays, and they said that it looked like it was broken. So there was nothing they could do about it now. They don't try to break it and try to reset it or anything like that anymore. They just leave it alone. Right now they're fine, but it took a long time to get that. And I was walking around with a really broken foot, going to work, walking everywhere because I ride a bus. I don't have a car. I probably won't be able to drive anymore. It really upsets me because I got kinfolk I want to go visit. Been wanting to do for about 2 years, trying to save up for a car. When I had the money, I couldn't seem to get the car then, and I needed things. I didn't have furniture when we moved in here. And my testimony might be sad. Just a positive outcome out of all that. Is what I've learned out of it. It's how amazing I am. Like I never give up. Never give up. Hope that there's more to life than just being disability, and that I can work a 40 hours and be okay, and that I could go to school full time and have two jobs and be okay. And I couldn't do that before, and I could barely even walk to the bathroom when I had seizures, and fibromyalgia was so painful that caused my seizures. And God, you don't know how lonely it is to be sick like that and hear your family not believe you. They're not around all the time. They don't come visit you. They don't even call to check up on you. And when they do call, they think I just want to draw a check and get high. Because when I'm on meds, some of them make me sedated and make me look very sedated. I'm looking high, and sometimes when I'm ill, I stare off in space. And that could be a sign of my seizures too. And I know what I look like when I do that, and it don't look good. I kind of got a caught glance a few times when I did that. And seen myself in videos when I caught myself doing that. I could understand what I mean. And it looks very weird, and sometimes the way I act, sometimes it's very weird, it's unusual. not make people uncomfortable, and it makes me really hate myself for being that way, and it's not my fault. It's their fault for treating me that way. They don't have to treat me that way, and yes, I don't have to take it all in, and I could just roll it off my shoulders, but I can't. Not when there's too much of it. Not when it's like coming at me in piles of logs on top of my shoulders all at the same time, like daggers. You can't dodge a bullet. You can't dodge rain when it's coming at you 100 miles an hour with multitudes of 2 million. You can't. You're going to get wet. You're going to get hit by those bullets. That's how it felt to me. By hearing all this abuse from society and family and friends and people all the time I care about. I'm very strong. I'm a very strong person. I survived COVID. I survived some things I shouldn't have ever survived. Suicide attempts. I don't know if my boyfriend will ever forgive me for almost jumping out that window. That scared me. I didn't want to die then. I quickly changed my mind. I almost did fall. And I saw my life flash really quickly before my eyes, and I saw something fall. And I nearly slipped, and I jumped right quickly in the window and right by the closest bed. And I just held on to the floor like I was just grateful I didn't fall. And I don't know if I'll ever get that relationship back the way it was, and that's my fault. And it turned out to be that way because the way he was treating me for a while. It was fun for a while, and then it got out of hand. And I was getting ill, and he didn't understand it. And I thought it was because I was using, but I stopped. I was clean for at least 3 weeks, and I knew it. I couldn't possibly still coming down, and I usually only get high for about a day or two because it's not that great on whatever dope is, either great or not. But I wasn't feeling good. It was like I was sick, not dope sick, but like flu, and I couldn't breathe. Turned out I had pneumonia and the flu. Then when I got robbed, the same day I got robbed, I got COVID, and it took a lot out of me. Uh, and that was probably the most darkest, loneliest time of my life because somebody took my backpack when I got home. Before I knew I got home, it was 3 days, possibly later, when I realized it was gone and I was running out of food here. I had ate my last can of corn. Didn't get groceries before I got that sick, and somebody took $1,500 in my account. My last $1,500, and I was in quarantine and I couldn't leave the house. I was too sick to want to get out of the house. I didn't want to get out. Didn't want to get anybody infected. Didn't have the strength anyway. And tried to call my sister, and she thought it was just a bunch of BS. That I was just coming down and I was high. So one next night, I was talking very soft, wheezing. Just woke up from a terrible scare. Couldn't breathe. I felt like I was breathing out of a straw. Trying to breathe out of a straw. It was collapsing on itself. Coughed up this big giant loogie on the ground, and finally was breathing. I was sweating so badly. I was thinking immediately, I was like, how can I call 911 when you can't breathe? It's impossible. Called my sister instead, and I didn't believe I was sick. So I didn't want to call her anymore. Didn't want to talk to her. She had a broken foot. For whatever reason, I know it hurts, but didn't need to treat me like that. And I called her name and hung up. So I hurt. It's extremely hurt. Still extremely hurt. Kids start following suit. They did the same thing. Friends did too. She went on Facebook and said, try to help her when she wouldn't help herself. Try not to help myself. I'm sick of COVID. Paid my bills. I just ran out of money because someone took it. I didn't know anybody in this apartment building. When I got sick of COVID, I stayed in my room working on my homework assignments during COVID. I didn't care to meet anybody here. I was too driven for something more, and when I did, that's when I realized that's why I didn't want to know anybody because this place is tons full of dope in this town. This apartment building. I just rather just be left alone. So I went through all that, and after I got well again, I haven't really ever returned to school yet, but I'm going to. Go get my bachelor's, and I got less than a year until finish. God, I did. Ideas I come up with are so amazing. I know it's going to do well. I know I'm going to do well. I'm just so still distraught of all that I went through. That's to get extremely angry and hurt. To deal with that pain, for coping skills, I learned to sing better. I become a better writer. My sketches are weird, but God, they got so incredibly weird and incredible. New type of, I call it channeling. It's just a bunch of scribbles, but it turns out that there's actually some kind of symbolism and imagery in it. And it's really kind of cool how I just let the pen just roll around the page and it comes out that way. It's kind of cool. And I do that just to help me relax when I'm on the train or somebody's conversating with me that I really don't want to hear and I just don't want to get mad, just to keep myself calm. And or just until an idea pops in my head that I could write or I could work on the next project, sell in the future. So I'm doing what my psychiatrist have told me for many times before. Journaling don't work for me no more. Counseling isn't working for me no more. If I can't go to the people that have hurt me and straighten it out so we can work on a relationship because they choose not to be bothered with it because they're the ones that that have put the pain there inside me and they don't want to feel bad for what they've done. So that's how I feel about it. That's how I feel there. I'm not seeking assuming, that's just how I see it. Um, if it was me, which it was me at one time, I would be the same way. But I'll be the first to admit when I'm wrong. I mean, I've learned that from many years of treatment to own your own behavior, your own feelings. Nobody could make you feel this way, but they could be attributed to it. They get attributed to how you feel. You know, somebody says something to you that confused you. They say I love you, and then turn around and do something make you question that. It would make you feel bad. Make you question, you know, your self worth. You start wondering, am I even a lovable person? It does, and especially if you're with that person and spending a lot of time with that person, it does. It it puts you in a spell, and that's what causes mental illness in the first place. Where do you think it comes from? It comes from external sources. I mean, external triggers, external sources. It does. It comes from out here and gets in there. When it gets in there enough, it gets stuck. And if you're young, and if that's all you know, what else are you? How else are you gonna feel? I sound like a psychiatrist because I studied so long. I've been damn been long. I've been a patient long. I'm a psychiatrist, but I've learned to be a psychiatrist because of being a patient, to try to figure out the world around me, try to figure my mom better, to understand why it is that I'm so different than other people around me. Why can't I relate to them? Why can't they relate to me? Why is it about me that they don't like? What is it that they do? Why is it I can't understand things? Like, how could somebody hurt somebody that's been hurt too? You know, I always felt like when I was a little girl that I wouldn't want to hurt somebody that hurt me the same way. I wouldn't want to hurt anybody, period, because I know what it's like to be hurt. Because I was abused. I was picked on by all these kids in school because I was different. I was weird. I had a weird imagination. I had a morbid sense of humor. I had dark um, imagination. I seen the world differently. And then they got where I think deeper, and it was not just dark um, potty jokes. When you're a kid, it starts to become more scientific. Obviously, when you get older, it gets more mature, and it gets over people's heads. And I guess I kind of made them hate me when I do that. I don't know if I made them feel stupid. I didn't mean to. Just trying to help. I'm just trying to show them how I see things, and maybe they can show some light. Maybe they see it the same way. I was like, I don't know. I don't see that. I don't understand that way of thinking. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. It kind of over my head, and they're like, huh? What the hell are you talking about? What are you on? And I'm like, what do you mean? That makes perfect sense. No, you don't. You're lost. You need to at it. And sometimes I get mad. It don't make no sense, but I'm not possessed by demons, and it's very hurtful to hear those kind of things. It's turned me away from the church when people say stuff like that. But I do pray, and I do have my faith, and I do have I do see the world in colors that is prettier than this pink right here. I love the world. I love the universe. I love all creations as God is created it for us, as He loves us, as He loves His creations. I try to love God in the best way I understand Him to be, and that is to love everything. It's not just people, it's plants and animals, and take care of everything. Because animals don't know what's going on. They know there's people and their stresses. They don't know why they're acting like they don't know why we're acting like this. They don't know why they're feeling bad. They're stressed out because the stresses that we're putting on this world. So they're dying, illness. And their navigation system is also failing them. They're not coming to flying south, when they're supposed to. They're coming out later this year than they usually do. I've noticed that myself before I read about it. And it saddens me. It saddens me more when I ask people about it. They don't seem bothered by it. Like it's no big deal. Like, it's just birds. Who cares? It's just bees. Who cares? But if we don't have a bird, we don't have a bee, we don't have these things that we need in our ecosystem, that hurts for all of us to survive. All of it. We all know that. No one seems to care. Some people do care, but it's like, what can you do about it? I don't know. But it saddens me that nobody seems to care, and when I was younger, people did care. When I was much younger, about fifth, fourth grade, they cared. They cared, and I don't know what happened from then and there, but I still care. It makes me cry. It makes me cry when I see people hurting themselves. It makes me cry when I see people hurting each other. It anything. I can't watch certain movies without getting high. I'm already so naturally more emotional than other people, and I just care as a human being. I care as a mother figure, as a sister figure, as a person who is designed to care. I care. It's not shouldn't be a diagnosis because I feel these emotions so strongly about more most people don't feel emotion about. When I feel that we should because people think things have died off because we didn't care enough. And if they all die off, then we lose our food. We lose our food sources. We lose our lives. It's just a lot. Nobody wants to hear me talk that far. Nobody wants to hear it when I get that deep. Nobody wants me to finish these conversations with them. They don't want to know. They don't want to be bothered with it. They got their own problems, they say. That is our problem. That's everyone's problem. This planet is our home. It's our only home. Until we can find another planet we could go to, until we die, this is our home. And if we don't take care of it, we don't take care of our bodies ourselves, we don't exist no more. It don't exist. We don't. And that's it. There's no more. No more Earth. No more Bridy. No more bees. No nothing. That's it. We can't do God's work. Not in this day and time. Not like that. That's all I was trying to say. And people get mad and they get disgusted with me and they tell me not to talk and I can't talk and I'm not supposed to talk. I'm not supposed to even talk about my cat. They get irritated when I do. So then I talk to myself and then they think poorly of me for doing that, like I'm unhealthy, like I'm schizophrenic or something. I'm just thinking out loud because if I try to talk to somebody else, then I get yelled at or they think I'm sick. All that stuff. Does that seem fair? No. Does anybody else go through that? I don't know. Nobody seems to want to answer that question when I ask that question. Well, nobody pays attention to me when I do, because I do talk to myself and I say, well, you don't pay no attention to you. When you do talk, we just think you're talking yourself against. We don't pay no mind. And I go, wow. So when you first met me, you didn't pay me no mind either, because when I did talk, you didn't even hear me out anyway. Because when I'm amongst people, I try not to be rude, so I talk softly and I try to fit a conversation in when there's a break or when I talk to somebody. People don't seem to realize I'm there talking to somebody about work related stuff that I need to ask because it need to be done now because hey, that order needs to go out pretty quickly before the customers get mad. So they interrupt me and they talk about random stuff where I'm not allowed to at work. And that kind of irritates me. But then I try not to let it bother me and just try to enjoy my job because hey, I enjoy my job and I like it and I love to work, you know, because I couldn't work for so many years because I was sick when I was young. In bed, just daydreaming, oh, I could go to school. What are we doing right now? I could get married. If I wasn't sick, what could I be doing right now? I could be mowing the yard, riding horses, driving a car, chasing kids around the yard, you know, everything that people take for granted. And when I was able to do that, first it was slow at first and pain come and go. It still does. I tried to dance it off, because that natural endorphins in your head, you know, the pain into pleasure sensors and you feel good, and the pain goes away for a while and it comes back. Then you got pain, you got um, good pain mixed with the bad pain that's always there, the chronic pain mixed with the pain from when you exercised, then you're miserable. But then I'm exhausted, so I go to sleep. And I lose weight because I exercise so much. And if they're used to me being big for so long, and they hadn't seen me in a while, and they see me like this, and they see, oh, they think it's like, God, she stayed at home the whole time, just stayed home. Yeah, she looked really bad. And if you're sick with COVID for 4 months and you lose all the weight and you look sick, you look sick. You look skinny. You look sick. You look bad. I mean, naturally. I mean, obviously, yeah, duh. But they look bad at me because of my past. My drug past is minimal. It's small. Wasn't very long. And I didn't care for it when I was doing it. And then I go, well, why am I doing this anymore? Why am I doing it? This does not do it. I just quit. I need to go lockdown facility. I didn't need to seek out treatment. I didn't need to take special meds for it. I just stopped. I just didn't buy it anymore. I spent money on food and core electronics, art supplies, music, and all that fun stuff, clothes. And I didn't want to, I didn't care. I didn't want that damn stigma anymore. And even though I still had it even before I even used it, I didn't like the way I felt. Always paranoid all the time. And I'm naturally paranoid anyway, you know. Um, you know, I'm gonna say something that's kind of weird, talking about being a psych patient and all that, but I'm a bit of a medium, I'm a bit psychic. And I've predicted things here recently that shouldn't have been predicted months in advance. Somebody's car wreck. I predicted his car wreck just the way it happened, just as it was going to happen, and just about the same time period of the year that it would happen, just the way it happened. And I wouldn't have possibly known that was going to happen. I didn't plot it out. I didn't hire nobody to see can I do that. I hadn't against the guy. I love the guy. Years, and he was kind of. I think I scared him away from me. I think it scared him so much that he don't want to talk to me no more. I didn't do that to him. I didn't mean to. I didn't put it out there. It was just gonna happen. I guess that was meant to happen. I just seemed like a domino effect anyway. You know, just running overworked, and if you're tired, it's gonna happen eventually. And so I'm thinking like a scientist too. That I could say I'm not a medium. I could say I'm thinking like a scientist. Theories, but I mean, it just seems too accurate to be just theories. There are there are people out there who aren't mediums and improving themselves. I don't want to talk about it because, hey, don't mind Bridy. She's just going through her moods again. She is a little. I see it. In corner of my eye, I hear about it. If I don't catch the whispers, I know what they're talking about when I come in the room. Oh, hi, how you doing? Now they're all in deep conversation until they got motion, and then they notice me, and then kind of that fake smile. Yeah, I know other people's been treated that way too. That's not right. Fair. That's not fair. You don't understand me, then don't go be talking about me by my back because it makes me feel like even right in front of my face. Don't be doing that either. Like I don't know what you're talking about. Like I don't know what you're saying. Because I know I'm very intelligent. I'm very educated, and I know exactly what's going on. Anyway, when y'all do that, when people do that. I know we don't have anybody else who is going through it anyway, who are mentally disabled. It doesn't help them if they're physically disabled. That no one likes that. They just want to be treated like everybody else. You know, we're all different, all special in our own way. We all got special talents. It seems like I just irritate people more with my difference. Some people are intrigued. Some people impress, but I don't even know if they're really just saying that they're impressing or they enjoy my company or they're just looking for something. Because since my dad died, I've been seeing some pretty people been acting like they want to be my friend. Just to get something out of it. Not because they care about me or they like my company, but because they get something out of it. Like, sometimes I give things away because I need to make space, or I give it away because, hey, maybe, I have plenty of electronics, maybe somebody else could use it, and it'll be great doing that, especially when they use electronics that I didn't reset it to factory setting, or and take the certain apps that got certain stuff in there, and then they still bank cards out of here and use it to, hurt another friend of mine and make it out like I'm doing it to that person, trying to make me look bad. But we figured it out it wasn't me. We knew who it was that did it. And so that's what makes me paranoid. You know, I see, I see the goodness people until they give me a reason to see them guilty. But I still have my cautionary sign, or I watch red flags. I watch it. I know I'm 48 years old. I'm not a spring chicken. I know when somebody's screwing me over, when they're not in plain sight. I know. I could tell. Their demeanor changes once they do. They change once they screw you over. Some people are better at hiding it than others, but I know. And if I'm psychic, you can't lie to a psychic. I may not know what it is because I can't see ill intent, but I know something's not right. If your old man's cheating on you, or if he's doing something that he knows that you wouldn't appreciate, because you would worry about him and be sick if something bad happened to him. You know, you would feel that too, because something that they change. People just change when they are doing something they know they shouldn't be doing. You know, if you know them well enough, then it's easy to spot that immediately. And and if you don't notice this, and they've been doing it for years, maybe you just didn't care, or maybe you're doing the same thing, or you haven't cared enough, and that's what pushed it to that level, or that you never cared in the first place. You know, I don't know. I can't understand a lot of things in the psychology of why people do things and why they think. I just understand the way I feel and think. That's why psychology is really I think it's a very weak science, and I probably should write some journals about it, which I will. Um, I already have one named, a journal called Psychiatry, based on a student patient's perspective. I have a lot of arguments about it. I have a lot of I have a lot of opinion about how, you know psychiatry has been and where it's going, where it is, and where I think it's headed. And far as being a student who was recently going to school for psychology, has studied it since I was 14, as well as one who's been a patient since I was 4. And the way I'm being treated now as a patient who's dealing with a obvious physical ailment as seizures, is noticeable as seizures, and to look at me is just being a delusional maniac, just flopping on the floor like I'm having a baby fit when I'm not. Trying to get enough breath, because it takes a lot of breath out of me, to try to keep from hyperventilating, to keep me from having a seizure, keep me from getting mad, to tell them really quickly before I have another one, and getting angry in the process because they're telling me to calm down and stop, because they're they don't believe me. They're going to put me in the wrong medical facility when I'm trying to tell them I need to go to a medical facility because something else is wrong. And I'm trying to tell them, they won't listen because they want to take me to a medical facility, and that's not where I need to go. They don't even want to believe me. So how am I supposed to recover for something as It's uncontrolled. I mean, I don't have no control of my physical ailments and my brain waves to cause me to have that seizure or even me, involuntary, like my heart, stop beating. So what if I need to go there because I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack or something, or I'm bleeding and I can't stop the bleeding, and they won't believe that I really have a problem. They think it's just a mental problem, and that's just a self-interest behavior, and they put me in the wrong place, and I really just need to go to get clean, get stitches in me, or then I think there's something really going on inside me, and I don't know why, but I can't tell you because it hurts. But they just think that maybe it's just a panic attack because it's in my gut. Because it feels like a panic attack sometimes, like you feel like you're having a heart attack, so you're just having a panic attack. You're a little aggravated, so you must be having a panic attack. So they give you anxiety pills for that, or they've got some anxiety pills for that. But still, there might be an actual reason why I'm having a panic attack. Like maybe my body's trying to tell me, like, look, you're about to have a seizure. So whatever you're doing, you might want to start doing something to calm yourself down. Maybe drink a glass of water. Maybe take deep, slow down and do mindfulness and do breathing techniques or something that I didn't even know anything about until I realized I started having those bad seizures. And then I had to read about it on my own before I went to my neurologist. It scares me that I can't even trust the medical system to help me when I need help. I can't go to anybody without them turning me away and dismissing me as just overreacting and being over dramatic, and when I'm not. Anybody would be beside themselves if they just heard that their loved one got hit in the car and they died. They would go ballistic too. That's not over dramatic behavior. That's grief. All right. Then they go into shock, or they might go into shock first, and then I don't know why I'm treated so much differently, even over just grieving somebody. Can't even grieve right, they say. I can't even commit suicide right, they say. They say I can't even talk right, they say. They say I can't even, I'm not even normal. I get so tired of hearing that. It's like, well, what the hell? I'm just like you. I don't look and act and think, well, maybe I think differently, but I don't know that. I spent a lot of time alone. I've been around a lot and stayed in my room a lot alone growing up. I'm staying alone. I'm here all alone all the time. Alone. I'm alone amongst people alone. So how am I supposed to relate with that with y'all? I don't know. And I don't know. I mean, I study people by watching them and try to mimic what they're doing. Still doesn't get right. I'm not depressed. It does depress me, though, that I can't fit in. I don't belong. I definitely don't belong to my family. They don't want me there. I don't think they really ever wanted me there. I don't know why. Who cares? I'm probably wasting my breath just doing this when I should be writing in a book. I'm writing a novel. I'm writing a few books. One is more about my life. It's got a good story. It's a good story. It's, it's what all those things I went through has made me amazing artist I am today. And I'm proud of myself if nobody else is. I can say that. I feel safe to say that I can walk around with my own beat. I could say that, hey, I went to school and I did it on my own. I did it. I didn't pay nobody to do my assignments for me. I didn't um, tell nobody lies about why my rent is, um, paid up full and maybe be behind. I never made up stuff just for this kick of it, just to get this get brownie points. I wasn't trying to ever do that, you know, for any reason. I've never, ever, ever faked an illness just to get attention, just to get people's sympathy, just to, I wasn't trying to make people feel bad. I was just trying to tell my story. You know, I thought maybe if my story fits somebody else's and they're going through something, maybe then they feel like, hey, that person's going through it and she seems like she's doing okay because she's going to college, she's doing great. Maybe I could do that too. That's why I was telling my story. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it because I see people do it all the time. There's movies and documentary people doing that stuff all the time. Even in my family, even around me, my friends, everybody does it all the time. In my store I was working at, people do it all the time. I still wish I could. I'm not talking to my family no more because every time I do, it takes me forever to get over that last conversation I've had with them over this very thing I've been talking about in this video. And it really upsets me because family is very important. I could make a new family with other people, but still, that's my immediate family, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, my sisters are only one. My mom and dad passed now. That's my only family, the only people I've known all my life. And they always not liked me. They've always thought I was always a full of BS. So since we were growing up, they've always thought I was a BS, a cocky face when I was a little kid. You know, so God, I'm sorry. I don't know what else. I don't know how else to be but me. Try to be somebody else, and that didn't turn out right either. It ended up confusing me, and I ended up being stuck to being that imaginary person. And I got really hard. I got delusional after that. That's the only time I ever got delusional. When I pretend to be somebody else, don't do that. And really damaged my relationship with him, and because I couldn't, because he started hating who I am because I couldn't be that person I was pretending to be, because that person I was pretending to be seemed to be everything that he wanted to be and that everything I wasn't. So when I tried to be myself, he was disappointed. That that sucks. I mean, without me, that imaginary person wouldn't be there. I can't maintain it for long, especially if it's just meant for between us because it was a bedroom thing, you know? So come on, man. I'm not that bad. I talk a lot. I get angry. I don't get as angry as I used to. Still work in progress. I'm still me. Like under this wig, I don't have no hair really. I look different without it. I look different when I'm thin. I look a lot different since I got sick of COVID. The look on my face is different. The way I feel and everything about me is different now. COVID really changed me. That's my COVID story. Maybe I should name this my COVID story and how it changed. I mean, COVID really changed me. Changed me for better. It really has. He trained me back to he retrained me about who I was before I ever got those very severe um, abuse when I got married. I got abused when I was a little tiny kid with my mom, but I got really, really abused after I got married and moved out of the house, my dad's house. And then it'd be good. I have some good relationships, and then people outside that relationship outside the home front were being, you know, abusive and doing some terrible things. I tell that to my family, and I could tell you the story since I'm doing this anyway, and since I can't sleep and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and all this at least seems to help me. It's a good coping skill, I guess, at the moment. At least it makes me feel like someone's listening, and I'm not talking to myself because that makes me crazy. Eventually, I get mad because I get answers and I can't get the same conversation. I say the same thing over and over and over again, as if I'm talking to that person, like I'm rehearsing it till I get to see that person. Then I don't get to say that person, I get denied to speak it. because they're aggravated with me still. So we never get past um, the grudge stage, where we fight, get to the point, we go, we don't get through the grudge phase. We just stay there. We stay get mad. We say, well, no, we're still not speaking terms. We're still not speaking terms. I don't trust you still. I'm afraid you're going to go out that window. I'm afraid you're going to get mad. I'm afraid you're going to do it. And so I'm afraid you're going to do something. Or even before that, before they even know you, they already hate you for some reason. I don't know why. The look on my face or the way I carry myself, or did I approach you wrong? I didn't even talk to you yet. I didn't even know you're there. What did I do that made you irritated with me so fast and made you hate me already that heated? I don't understand that. It can't always be about race because it's not always about race because sometimes they're my color. So what is it? Hmm. Who knows? Maybe they just don't like people. Maybe they don't like themselves. Maybe I'm reminded of somebody that looked like me that abused them and treated me like that. I don't know. I never get a chance to really get to that conversation, but I end up just telling them, look, I don't know what it is that you don't like about me, but I like you anyway because you seem cool. Say that enough, and if you're working with them every day, eventually they'll close the gist and they end up finding something back to they like. And they with buddies. It don't always happen though. Works though. Wish everybody would do that. It works for me for a long time since high school. I thought maybe this is a good idea. I'm gonna try this before and see if it worked. And it worked. Worked really quick with my bully. I had a bully since middle school. We were fighting up in almost senior year. And she was bullying me. And I was like, why is she bullying me so much? I don't know why she don't like me. So, because I really like her, especially when she did that neck thing. I like when she did her hair. She had a cool style. She was the only black kid in school, and I don't know why she was acting like that. But people seem to like her. And so I asked her. I asked the teacher if we could go sit by ourselves. I think there's a whole classroom by ourselves to talk to each other. They wanted us to get at the bottom of it and so we could stop fighting. So they, yeah, go ahead. We'll be right out here if you need us. So we were talking about it. We had a real conversation, and she was impressed that I carried on that conversation. She was impressed that I liked her. That after all that time she'd been mean to me, I still really liked her a lot. I looked up to her. I really appreciate her as a person. And, and she laughed at me when I did that next thing. So I did. I can't do it. But yeah, she laughed, and it turned around really quick after that. And she says she was jealous of me. That's why she was so mean to me, because she was jealous. I said, "Why?" I mean, nobody ever notices me. Nobody ever asks me to homecoming dance. Nobody ever asks me out, period. Nobody ever does. She said, "I don't know. You're just super pretty and you're artistic. You just come up with some really cool ideas and just matter of minutes just draw. And it's so cool how you do that." And she wished she could do that. And so sure you can. It just took me a long time to practice because I've done it since I was little because it's the only way I knew how to deal with things, you know? And she tried to teach me how to do that neck thing. I couldn't. She said, "Forget it, you can't do it." It was funny. Oh, well. I wonder what she's doing now. She's kind of cool. So, yeah, if everybody would treat people like that and if you to people even when they're not being respectful, even if they're being disrespectful, be respectful to them and just appreciate them, things get turned around really quick and it gets turned out to better. It really does. It really, really does. And if the whole world would do that all the time, this world would be so much better. I mean, I get it. A few people that listen to me all the way get it. They're like, yeah, wow, yeah, I know, but could they maintain it for long? Who knows? They maintain with me and just one conversation. Sometimes with the very first time I say it, and it worked that fast. And it amazes me even today how easy that was, you know, and how wrong my sister is to say that all I care about is myself and I never listen and I never show anybody appreciation and I never say thank you or sorry or own up to my mistakes. And I always do. And I'm constantly apologizing before I even do anything wrong. And I'm constantly thanking people before I even get any reason to say thank you because I've heard that so many times. And people, oh, you're fine, you're good. I'm like, it's just part of my recovery. Because, oh, okay. Yeah, it's really, yeah, it's disheartening. And it really hurts because I've given up on my family completely. Every single one of them, including my kids. I would never have done that in the past before I got COVID. I would fought tooth and nail and defend them to the death to try to keep, try to communicate with them. I would do anything I could to try to find a way to communicate with them. And they would look at my emails. They would never answer the phone to me. They would never answer the door to me. And I could hear my son in the door. And when I'm in the room, they don't even acknowledge that I'm even speaking to them. And they look at me with disgust and everything, as if, I didn't even take my first drink in the parties, and they're looking at me like I'm a lush, like I'm just there to drink up and just that I stay that way all year long. Because sometimes I drank at the one party I was invited to, the family events, and sometimes I didn't. But since everybody's drinking and they're included, they don't see that I don't have a beer in my hand. It's actually a Dr. Pepper. Because I didn't always drink at those parties because I don't care to drink. I don't like throwing up. I don't like beer that much anyway. Yeah, and so I'd rather just not because it's embarrassing to when I get when I'm drunk. I'd rather just have fun and watch the kids play, watch fireworks, and eat a lot of food and know what I'm doing, and watch everybody else get drunk and stupid and laugh at them, you know, and worry about them the next day. Oh, God, that was scary. Yeah, I mean, I've had my drunken days. Yes, I ran through that. I've got empties here of bottles I never even drank. I don't even know what they taste like. Just because I got the bottles full and I found them on the ground somewhere. And people want to get on me for having empties here. I don't worship the bottles because they're up high, like they're on a on a on a big altar or something. They're just really cool to look at. And sometimes I use them as vases, you know. And I might just put my own labels on it for like, you know, because I'm an artist. I'm a graphic designer. I'm a web designer, and I do packaging design, and I might do that just for like display and what I do. You know, maybe I have a whole bunch of them right here. Saying I did that stuff in college. Because sometimes I just do it for fun when I come in between things, like between projects, just to keep my skill set up and improve upon it. You know, like a professional. Like what I would do. I don't know what other ones like me do, but that's what I do. Just everything got lost in the shuffle of things. Have to leave bad situations. Have to leave artwork behind while I'm going into treatment. People destroy my work or steal it, or it's caught in a fire, or my computer gets a virus and everything gets destroyed, or my computer gets stolen. Stuff like that. It's just really gets to the point where it really damages me as an artist, and people still destroy my artwork or talk down on it. But I know I'm a good artist, so I don't give up. I might start off kind of looking like it's kitchen scratch, like something I did when I was 4. But then I keep doing it and won't give up and start doing it again. I'm doing it great all over again. And then you're a graphic designer. Then it's a whole new park there, and it's different. And it's just then I know I'm good. 'Cause it's like, hey, it's sketch. Put it down there. It looks totally different. It looks professional. Then it looks like the big leagues. So I've got confidence. I mean, I'm getting more confidence now than I have. I don't ever seem that way to anybody, but I do. And it sounds like because I'm talking this way that I'm not upbeat and I'm like talking positively. I am. I mean, if you're listening to the message, it is a positive message. It is. It's of a woman, me. It's of a woman that doesn't know when to quit. That's a positive message. To be so sick and still manages to draw and still manages to make sense of it. You know, as sick as I was when I was sick with COVID. When I started to throw away when I was looking at it going, because it was so round and so munched up together that it didn't look like it made any sense until I looked at it really closely. And I'm like, oh, I see a connection on why I did that. And then I remember, yeah, that's a good idea. And I can see other ideas with that too. So I was like, that amazed me because I didn't remember even doing that when I did it. 'Cause I was that sick. Because I had so many seizures during that time that I'm not maybe got knocked out of my head. And I kind of want to ask Vicinities if it's not, if they're not seizures and not real, and if they're just mental, it's just a mental disorder, then why is it that when I have a seizure that I can't remember going to the hospital because of that seizure? And when I get the paperwork from that, they said seizure on it. Like I had a seizure there. I don't remember going to Parkland when I had a seizure. I don't remember that. That memory's completely spaced out of my mind. And it wasn't that long. It was in it was the same month that I went to that other hospital. Of that doctor, he looked me in the eye and said, "Stop it, ma'am! Stop it! Look at me in the eye. You stop it. They're not real." And that worked when she looked at me, but when she did that, it made me upset. It made me cry because I know they're real. They're very real. I know when I got out of the hospital and I seen what they put on that paper, they said that I was hallucinating. I didn't hallucinate. I didn't say anything that remotely what I know of somebody being who has hallucinations, who's delusional. Is that, no, I told them that I was trying to tell them I was sick with something, that I have an infection, and I'm very dehydrated, and this water alone is not going to help me, and the medicines I have ain't going to help me because I couldn't afford the medicines that I needed at the pharmacy because I didn't have the money at the time because I've been out of work so long. So I need to go to the hospital because if I don't, I'm going to have another seizure, and it could be very bad this time because I could never tell them. They would not listen. They would not listen. And I was clear in everything I said. I said it just like that. And they said that I'm getting out of hand. I was talking too loud, and that they believed that I'm a danger to myself, and that I might harm somebody else. And I wasn't at all. I kept telling them I wasn't. I don't have any ideation of wanting to harm anybody or myself. i- I'm in pain because of real illness. I mean, I need to go to a medical hospital is what I told them. And I told my auntie recently the same thing. She don't even believe me. But why, Christ's sake, what do I have to do to make people understand and believe me that what I'm going through is real? And I'm sorry that this is stuffing it down y'all's throats right now. I'm not going to y'all individually. That looks weird. But I'm not going to anybody individually on Facebook anymore, trying to get to make them understand the same, have them see my point of view, because I know that they won't ever look at my Facebook messages at all. Period. They don't look at my texts because I didn't know they blocked me. So I don't know, call them and find out they blocked me. Leave a voicemail and they don't. It hurts. I mean, out of the blue, just block me, and And I don't know why I didn't do anything to deserve that. Especially when the conversation we just had a week ago, maybe a month ago, maybe a year ago was great. And I haven't talked to you in a year, and all of a sudden you want to block me out of the blue. What did I do? Please, somebody tell me what I did. I don't think I look that bad right now. And I don't think I will get past that with them, with anybody. I don't think I ever will. Not until, not until I get over this thing I've been through so many years. I mean, look at this video. I don't know if you can see it. I hope this thing goes through. I look weird in that. I look bad, don't I? Compared to what I look right here in YouTube and this Facebook. I look bad there in Facebook. So people look at me in that Facebook right there, and they have their opinion. Well, it's not my fault the way that looks, okay? I don't look like that in real world. I don't look like that on YouTube. I think I actually look kind of beautiful. And yeah, whatever. But I don't look bad. I don't talk bad. I don't I don't think I present myself bad. I don't I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. One of these days, I'm going to go through something like this and do a recording of the conversation with somebody on the phone, on the speakerphone, and I'll let you hear how that conversation turns to this to that, turn to incredible, like, hey, I'm going through this, I'm going through the motions, this is what I'm going through, to, oh, you sound like you're suicidal, you need to go get some help, call 911. That's not what I said. No, what I saw in that video was not a seizure. Huh? Me talking to you? No, that was not a seizure because I was talking to you, talking about a seizure. That obviously that's not a seizure. No, I can't obviously record myself having a seizure. And how can you say that if you come on? She obviously didn't see a seizure. I know what a seizure is. I know when I have a seizure. All right, you can't diagnose somebody properly. You can't. I'm not. I'm not a doctor, but I'm not an idiot either. Okay, I can't talk to that woman no more. I starting to understand my uncle's point of view and the rest of my family's point of view. I'm biased, okay? I start seeing both sides of the story. I can understand how my family treats me, but I didn't deserve it because it was out of the blue. It was just out of just pure meanness because I don't know those people that well, and we don't conversate that much for them to just bluntly say that what I had to say about this building could not possibly ever happen to this building. People dying of hybrid uh, fires in the building. People saying kitchen on fire, and that there's carbon monoxide poisoning people are dying from. Because I found my friend in my apartment, unresponsible because of that. And then saying it's BS. We heard the story. We'd seen the video. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Because if you did, no, this is not BS. I'm not. Why? Why? Why are you acting like that? Are you drunk again? I didn't say that though, because I don't like when somebody does it to me. I know she wouldn't appreciate it either. And then everybody obviously all buddy fun friends when they didn't like each other before. I'm fine then. I love you anyway, family. I know y'all hate me. And y'all are disgusted of my behavior and y'all sick of me saying I'm gonna kill myself when it is obviously a warning sign because I've done it before. And I could possibly have done it then when I was threatening. I was sure coming close when I was saying that last time. And I wanted to when I was sick with COVID because it got to the point where I did not want to go to sleep. And exhausted I was. I'm about to fall asleep, and then when I do, I was too scared to go to sleep because when I go to sleep, that's when I would wake up. And when I'm awake, I didn't have to worry about it. When I sleep, that's when I had that attack when I couldn't breathe. I was scared to sleep, but I needed to sleep to heal, and I was hungry and I couldn't get any food, and nobody was there to help me. And everybody thought because I live in America, there was no possible way I could be that malnourished, even by blood test from a doctor. They couldn't believe it. They thought I photoshopped that. Well, you know what I'm doing with this? I'm gonna start working on some stuff because you know what? This ain't getting anything done. Nobody's gonna listen to this. Nobody ever did before, and nobody probably will ever. So I'm just gonna write books and hope it sells. It will. But you know what? I wish my family cared about me, and I wish I had Christmas with them. I don't want to watch my grandkids grow up. At least I got a At least I got a Christmas card. My grandson. I got some. I got some addresses I could probably send something, but they won't acknowledge I even did. They probably just see my name and throw it in the trash, like they do when they see me on Facebook and just let scroll on down and not even read it. So I just don't even bother when they do respond. I don't even bother reading because if I do read it, it gets out of context of what I was trying to say anyway, and I get hurt and I get frustrated, and then I have a seizure on the ground again. So I had to say, fuck it. I say, fuck it. This is my story, so called life.